We're back to the Total Education Network Total Tutor Show, powered by the Beach Lifestyle Celebrity segment. And I'm really excited. First, go to simplyg.com and totaltutor.net for more information. I'm really excited to welcome the program. And it's just, I know this is going to be a long-term relationship, especially he lives in South Carolina now, and I love South Carolina and can't wait to go to Hilton Head. I want to welcome the program celebrity Mark Bryan, lead guitarist from Hootie the Blowfish. Mark, thanks for calling.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on, Neil. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm counting down to my vacation days just because, you know, when you go to the beach, South Carolina is so beautiful. I just enjoy going there every year.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I live on vacation sometimes living down here in Charleston.
Well, absolutely. And my family loves Charleston, especially my wife's side of the family, just absolutely thinks it's a blast. So really interesting to talk about your foundation, but for our audience, tell your background specifically with Hootie and the Blowfish and things like that, and then we'll go right into Carolina studios.
Okay, well, I grew up in the D.C. area in Maryland, and with Dean Felber, our bass player from Hootie. He and I went to high school together and had a high school band, and then we both decided to go to the University of South Carolina, where we met Darius, who lived in the same dorm as us, and we all became good buddies and started playing together, and we still are to this day. We graduated from South Carolina in '89 and hit the road and got our record deal with Atlantic Records in '94, and had pretty much been on the road till about 2009, on and off, and then decided to take a break in 2009, and I've gotten myself immersed in all these different projects down here in Charleston. They're all music-based. And the first of which is Carolina Studios. And Carolina Studios is a nonprofit after-school program for kids. And what we did is we set up a studio downtown in Charleston for kids to come learn how to record music using digital software. And they make tracks on the computer, and then they're able to write their own lyrics and rap or sing over the tracks that they make. And so it's a great way for them to learn computer skills, to learn engineering and recording skills that lead to being a producer, and to hone their skills as a writer or artist. So, and I'll tell you that a lot of the kids are really interested in this. There's a lot of kids out there who are super talented, but maybe they don't play a sport or whatever. And so this has been a really nice outlet for a lot of creative kids.
Well, it sounds like it definitely is a creative outlet, and I'm excited to talk to you about it because I think that a lot of times, especially with all of the schools now cutting music and the arts, it's a travesty, especially the poorest schools, so that they can prepare for teaching to a test. Yeah.
And that has given our after-school program a reason to exist, for sure. And it's given a lot of kids who would be interested in doing something like that, it's given them an outlet, so that's been great. And on top of having the location in downtown Charleston that we have, we also have a mobile unit that has set up in it on a school bus that was donated to us by the Student Transportation Association of America, and we outfitted it as a studio, as a mobile studio. And so we go around to high schools and middle schools during the after-school hours as well, and set up and are able to have the program there for those kids. So we're trying to expand this thing all over the county of Charleston.
And it sounds great. I think it's something that's a great opportunity, and you're really doing something fantastic. And Mark, was it just because of the need that you said, I have to start this foundation? Is something that you said,
it was actually, the idea belonged to a guy named Lane Cyphers. And he had the idea, he was a social worker in schools, and he noticed that the kids that he was working with that were sort of troubled youth, he was able to relate to them more through music than anything else. And so that's when he kind of had the idea, what if we had like an after-school music program? And so he kind of came to me at that point. And so, yes, there was a need. And also, it's just something that I know that I would have loved to have had when I was a kid. So that was the main reason I wanted to get involved was, hey, I know there's going to be a lot of kids that are just like I was back when I first started playing music and writing songs, that would love to have this outlet. I remember having to borrow money from my parents and my uncle and stuff to go into a recording studio to record music when we were young, and there just wasn't anything like this. So I wanted that I wanted the kids today to have that opportunity that we never had.
So tell me specifically how you're involved in the foundation. What do you do in the day-to-day operations? How are you involved?
Well, I started off, being pretty hands-on with kids and how we set up the computers and how we the process of recording. And I started hands-on with instructors and that sort of thing. And now we've got a good staff in place, and I've moved into sort of a chairman of the board role. And really, funding is always the biggest issue. And so, in order to try to grow this thing countywide, we started an annual fundraiser, and I pretty much oversee that now. And we do a golf tournament and a show with a bunch of celebrities and try to raise money through sponsors for the program. And we had a good year. Last year was the second year of that, and we increased our amount from the first year. So we're on the right track with that. We'll have our third one this fall. And so that takes a lot of my time throughout the year, just putting that sucker together. And then I still oversee the curriculum and make sure that the instructors that are working for us know what they're doing, working with the kids, and make sure that we have a accountability in place, so we know how many kids we're working with and what we're actually teaching them and what their ages are and that sort of thing, because you have to sort of present that information to potential funders in order to get grants and that sort of thing. So I try to stay on top of all that kind of stuff, and we have a board that has about 10 people on it, and everybody has strengths that they bring to the table, and it's been a lot of fun running this organization.
Well, it sounds like it being in part of an administration role that you have a team together that does a fantastic job doing everything. And I want to ask about that team in a second. But when you're talking about the golf tournament, I would love to help cover it by helping promote the event before it comes up, to make sure months before, to bring on some of the celebrities that are going to be involved in it to truly help raise money for this event. So how we can do it, I'd love to do that. I've done a lot of different events. Like next week, we're doing the Andy Russell golf tournament out in Pittsburgh, and I'm going to get to meet all the old Super Steelers, and I'm just thrilled about that. But for events out of town, just doing the interviews, promoting them, and trying to make sure that the event. So you're not just going to have the golf participants, but you're also going to have fans that come to watch this as well? Is that how it's going to?
Yeah, we do a show. So several of the celebrities that we invite to the tournament are also singers. And I put together a little band that learns all their songs, and we try to do a 90-minute show that showcases the singers that are in the event. We were lucky enough to have all the guys from my band the first year. We did a little impromptu Hootie show, and we've had Mike Mills from R.E.M. and Branford Marsalis and Johnny Lee, the Urban Cowboy, Looking for Love, just all kinds of great singers and entertainers that are part of the event. And I think that helps, bring in sponsorship money when people know they're going to come see a good show. So.
Oh, well, absolutely. So tell us about your team. I know always you want to tout them, keeping it going. You're the one that's out there promoting the fundraise and make sure the curriculum is the way you want it, but you have a team around you that makes sure that the foundation keeps running and the after-school program's a success. So tell us a bit about people that you have around your team.
We've got a couple folks who are involved in other nonprofits that have had to come up with their own curriculum setups for grant writing and that sort of thing. And so they've given us a lot of valuable input as to how we should present our curriculum and how we should present that to grant writers and that sort of thing. And that's been great. That's a huge help, because that's not, when it comes down to it, I'm a musician, not an accountant or a grant writer. So having that kind of help has been invaluable. We've had other volunteer help from there's a company here in town called Professional Services Group, and they've been able to help us do all the financial part of things, keep records of all of our nonprofit accounting. So that's been huge, because, again, obviously not one of my strengths. And we've also had help we've had legal help on the board as well. And so that's been great to have, because invariably a few times a year that something will come up with a contract or some sort of thing. So it's really nice having a lawyer right on the board. So and then there's other people who just want to help and who dig in and aren't afraid to get their hands dirty. And some guys drive the mobile bus, and some guys have helped us outfit the studio with soundproofing and build booths, recording booths, and that sort of thing. So we've got a lot of great help from the community.
Well, I think that's awesome. And where do you see the foundation? How do you want Carolina Studios to continue to grow? Where do you see it, let's say, in the next 5 years? Where do you want the foundation to be?
I'd like to see, more locations like the one we have downtown. I'd like to see maybe 5 around Charleston County. One in North Charleston, maybe one out West Ashley, James Island, Johns Island side, maybe one out on the Mount Pleasant side. And maybe one in Somerville or something like that, and just kind of be able to grow it to where we have a place in every part of the Charleston County where kids can go after school to make music. And if we're able to set up that model, then it's maybe something that we could take statewide eventually and get some state funding for, and that's what I'd like to see happen ultimately, because there are kids everywhere, all around the country, in fact, that would love this opportunity, would love to be able to go into a recording studio after school, make their own track, and sing or rap over it. And ideally, I'd like to present that model to kids everywhere. And we want to grow it here in the county first. And if that means another mobile bus or 2 in the meantime, we'll take it,
So it's all up to our listening audience and people all around the world to help you reach that goal. They have to be able to help out in certain ways. So let's first of all find out where they can find out how they can
Absolutely,
help out. So tell us.
Yeah, you just want to go to our website, and right there on the home page it says donate here. That's obviously the best way you can help is just to donate money. And it's carolinastudios.net, but I believe we have carolinastudios.com as well. So I think either one will take you there. Easy to spell, just like it sounds, Carolina Studios. And we have different ways for you to donate, where you can sponsor a child or sponsor, a portion of the gas for our mobile unit for the year, those kinds of things. So you can go on there and sort of take your pick of how you want to help us out.
And I know we only have a couple minutes. Do you have anything to promote right now, right out there coming up?
Yeah,
soon?
I'll tell you a couple things I have going on aside from the nonprofit. Sure. I'm teaching a class at the College of Charleston, a music industry class, so that's been a lot of fun, helping a lot of young kids with that as well. And then I still release my own music through a website I have called songofthefortnight.com. And every 2 weeks, every fortnight, I put out a new song, whether it's something that I've recorded or something that I've produced for another artist. And every 2 weeks, you can hear a new song from me, and that's songofthefortnight.com. So check that out, and that's a good way for fans to keep up with my new solo material, because I've decided not to really worry about making an album right now, since I'm not touring. And so I just released the songs from what would be my new album one at a time through this Song of the Fortnight campaign. So that's been a lot of fun, and it's a new way to approach releasing music, so I'm really enjoying that. And then I'm also scoring a film right now. It's called Warrior Road. It was made here in Charleston, and I'm involved with putting the music together as a music supervisor and a composer of original score.
You seem like a busy guy, Mark. You really do.
That's just the tip of it, man. I got plenty more going on.
Well, your publicist was telling me all of it, and I said, well, then that means you have enough to come on a monthly basis to come and promote what's going on and all the different things and leading up to the event in October. So, again, also for yourself personally, is there a Twitter that you have, Mark?
There is. It's at Mark Bryan CTMG, which is short for Chucktown Music Group. So yeah, at Mark Bryan CTMG is my Twitter.
And so your CarolinaStudios.net, is that the one that's where people can find information on you, or you have your own personal website as well?
That's the nonprofit only.
Okay.
So yeah, songofthefortnight.com will take you to the Chucktown Music Group site, and you can get all my personal music there.
Well, Mark, it was a blast, and I can't wait to be in South Carolina very, very soon. So good connecting.
Well, enjoy it while you're here, Neil, and I'll be glad to come back on with you anytime, bud.
Oh, well, I'm glad, and thanks again for calling, Mark.
Okay. Okay, take care.
All right, take care. Okay, bye-bye. You're listening to the Total Tutor Show, powered by the Beach Lifestyle Celebrity segment, and we'll be back in just a moment.